Brew me something sweet, will you? By Orphan to Count on AO3. Episode 2, Chapter 1. Black coffee for Shinso? Izuku calls cheerily, sliding the drink down the counter. Thank you, Shinso says quietly, and he blinks lethargically as he takes a sip. Good, as always. Izuku beams at the praise, even though it's what Shinso says every single time he gets his drink. Come again soon, Izuku says, waving at Shinso as he leaves through the glass doors. Izuku rushes back to the counter, glancing at a few orders and putting out the cup sizes necessary for them. So far, the morning rush has been as expected. There's quite a few people here today, and orders are flying in fast. He quickly puts the milk he set aside earlier out from the steamer, drizzling the liquid into the black coffee base sitting at the bottom of the takeout cup. The white disperses into the dark before rising up again and coloring it in a brilliant tan. Izuku takes a spoon and he scoops some of the foam from the metal cup that contained the milk, sliding it on the top liquid and then humming with satisfaction as it settles. He caps it with a lid and then reads the name printed on the label. Latte macho for Kirishima? A man with spiky red hair, an even redder coat, slides in front of Izuku, and he hands the man his drink happily. Kirishima nods, shark-like teeth flashing. Thanks, bro, the man says, taking a sip and walking out with a smile and a wave. Come visit us again. Izuku waves back, and then he rushes back to the counter, picking up another cup and reading the order. He bounces up and down to the beat of the music playing in the background as he pulls out the needed ingredients. Somewhere, to Izuku's left, Uraraka sighs, shoulders hunched and practically draped over the counter with her weight. I don't understand how you could have so much energy. Uraraka grumbles, tapping on the cash register. They've gotten through the customers currently in the cafe now, so she hurries away from her position to help Izuku with the orders. It's way too early for this. It's never too early, Izuku argues, pouring water into a cup and sliding an eerie gray tea bag into it. Besides, all the people here look so tired. The least I could do is be energetic for them. I admire your strength, Dekakun. Uraraka drawls, pouring 2 packets of sweetener, excessive in Izuku's humble opinion, into the coffee base. But not all of us can do it. Izuku hums in response, getting started on the next order of the list. It's order number 14 of the day, and the last one on the queue. It's also a hot drink without ice, like all the past 13 orders have been as well. Uraraka glancing over at the screen, and she grins her feral grin. And it looks like I'll win this bet. That's 2,000 yen for me. This is so not fair. Izuku whines, turning back to the tea he'd left soaking and dragging out the used bag. You won the last bet too. I'm gonna go broke at this point. And I'm gonna be rich. Uraraka responds triumphantly, clapping her drink and sliding it down the counter with a draw of coffee for Jiro? A girl, with her earbuds in, walks up to the counter with tired-looking eyes, and she nods once at Uraraka before grabbing her drink and leaving the shop with a tinkle of the chimes. I'm so happy that you're utterly uncaring about my monetary situation. Izuku deadpans, putting a lid over the freshly brewed tea in the takeout cup and walking over to the counter. Earl Grey for Yaoyorozu? A girl with a ponytail saunters up to the counter with a cordial smile. Thank you. No problem, Izuku exclaims, flashing a smile. Visit us soon again. Uraraka yawns, rubbing at her eyes. Then she blinks away the resulting tears and gestures vaguely at Izuku. See, this is what I mean. You're so excited and... Her hand waves around in the air. Izuku grins at her, and she shields her eye like he's blinding her. Energetic. Save some for the rest of us. Nope, Izuku responds, not even looking at Uraraka, and instead focusing on drizzling the caramel sauce on the foam of the next order. He knows who the drink is for, and he takes extra care in making the line smooth. You're already taking my money today. I'm not gonna give you anything more. Aww, Uraraka says, and she leans against the counter with a stretch. Well, I guess I'm getting paid for this, at least. Technically, you're getting double played. My 2,000 yen and your paycheck for the week. They slipped into an easy silence again, and over all the chatter and ambience of the cafe, Izuku can't help but notice a song. An oldie, but a goodie, from Interpra, coming up on the speakers overhead. Idly, he begins to hum the song, sliding a lid over the caramel macchiato with a flourish and calling for the customer's name. Caramel macchiato for Kachan? Izuku suddenly fumbles, breaking himself out of his improp jam and almost dropped the drink. I mean, caramel macchiato for Bakugo. The familiar silhouette of Izuku's childhood friend slides into his vision, with a tan coat and a flannel scarf. Kachan snatches a drink from Izuku's waiting hands, somehow not spilling any of the liquid with the aggressive movement. I told you not to fucking call me that with my drinks, nerd. Yeah, sorry, forgot? Izuku says, laughing nervously. I'll try not to next time. You better not, Deku. Kachan says, and then he's out the door. Izuku immediately stumps over, hugging the counter for dear life. He could feel some of the customers staring at him from various tables around the room, and it makes Izuku want to melt himself into the steamer. He and Kachan are on better terms now, after middle school, and certainly after high school. They learn to respect each other as artists. Kachan going to becoming a drummer in one of the country's top bands, and Izuku with his sketchbooks and paintings. Izuku is still antagonized by Kachan daily, though, but it's definitely not as malice as it used to be. He does that every day, doesn't he? Uraraka asks, walking over to him and pulling him up from his hunched position. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still hates me. Izuku sighs, striding over to the sink and grabbing a wet towel to wipe down the counters that are splattered with coffee, milk, and various other liquids. He keeps coming back, though, Uraraka says. And before Izuku could respond, the bell to the front door rings. A new customer had just walked into the shop with the fated 15th order that decides Izuku's fate. I'll get that. Izuku tells Uraraka. You took the past 14 orders, so I'll take this one. I'm so winning this bet. Uraraka squeals, and she leans back on the counter to relax. Izuku hangs the cloth back on the hook above the faucet, and he wipes his hands on his apron to clean them before touching the cash register. Then he makes his way to the front of the cafe, humming to the song over the speakers, and he calls out a chirpy greeting. Welcome to Plus Ultra Brews. How may I help you today? The man that greets Izuku is someone that Izuku has never seen in the shop before. He wears a puffy black coat with an even puffier hood that looks like it costs 3 times Izuku's paycheck, and skinny tight jeans that Izuku does not want to acknowledge this early in the morning. When Izuku scans over his face, he's met with an eye patch covering the man's left eye, and a black beanie that covers all the man's hair, if he has any. The one eye that Izuku can see is smoky, a stormy gray that is casted with shadows from the lights overhead. Another noticeable feature is that this man is very, very beautiful. Even if Izuku can't see half of his face, or even possibly non-existent hair, he can't help but see the sculptured facial features, dainty nose, slim eyebrows, and graceful lashes. The man's collarbones peek out from beneath his coat's neckline, and judging by the legs this man has on him, the puffy coat is hiding his, no doubt, chiseled figure. The man pauses at the counter, and Izuku snaps out of his daydreaming when the man speaks in a low baritone, gravelly, with disuse as if he had just woken up. I'll have. The man paused, holding a hand to cover his left eye, before tilting his head up at the menu, and then back to Izuku, who fumbles and tries not to melt under the man's gaze. I'll have an iced coffee. Then the man pauses again before he adds, with as much ice as he could fit in that cup. Behind Izuku, Uraraka deflates, effectively defeated. Uh, I, um, Izuku clears his throat. What size do you want your drink in? Oh, the man says, and he blinks once, lashes fanning over his cheeks. They're white. His lashes are white. Is his hair white too? Izuku can't tell with the beanie and the eye patch that should not be as attractive as it is. Medium. Okay. Izuku stutters out, jabbing the order onto the screen and trying not to embarrass himself in front of the pretty stranger. What's your name? The man pauses yet again, taking time to think about his name for some reason. Then he opens his mouth, closes it again, then says, Shou. Shou, Izuku murmurs, testing it on his tongue. He taps in the name, and then the order is entered into the system. If you would please make your way to the left towards the waiting area, we'll have your drink ready soon. I haven't paid yet, though, Shou says, and Izuku hears Uraraka muffle her laughter behind him. Oh, Izuku feels heat crawling up his cheeks, uncomfortably hot. Yeah, sorry, that'll be 300 yen. Shou nods, pulling out his wallet from his pocket of his coat, and then taking out a sleek black credit card and sliding it down the card swiper. The transaction goes through, Izuku's cheeks burning the whole time, and the receipt spits itself out of the printer. With fumbling hands, Izuku tears the paper from the machine. The paper rips at the bottom, due to his unsteady grip, and Izuku mutters under his breath before handing the mangled paper to Shou. Thank you, Shou says, folding the receipt with dainty fingers, not seeming to care much about the tear at the bottom. Then he glances down at Izuku's name tag and adds, Midoriya. Shou walks away from the cash register, making his way to the left, as instructed. Izuku sinks to the cold coffee machine, swiping a plastic medium-sized cup on the way, and starts to fill it with liquid. Well, you won the bet, Uraraka says shyly. And you might have won something else along the way. No, I have not, Izuku responds, trying to sound firm, but instead his speech comes out as a whimper when he looks over to see Shou leaning against the counter in his skinny jeans with his stupidly pretty face. Mm-hmm, sure, Uraraka says with a grin. Pretty sure that show person over there has got you rather interested. I mean, Izuku takes a deep breath in. I haven't won anything. I just, like you said, I'm interested. Nothing else. Uraraka raises an eyebrow. Nothing else, you say? Nope. Absolutely nothing. Izuku says, crossing his arms. It's not like he'll come again, right? He seems like a polished guy that just dropped into our shop for one drink. I'll never see him before today. Okay, Uraraka says. Then she walks up to the back room, coming out with a Sharpie. But you could give him your number. I. Izuku sputters as Uraraka shoves the pen into his hands. I can't do that. That would be so weird. He doesn't even know me, anyways. And it's not like, I mean, he wouldn't text me. We don't even know if he likes guys in the first place, and I haven't done anything to gain his attention. You're selling yourself out short, Uraraka says, patting him on the shoulder. You have a cute face and a pretty nice build. All the kickboxing paying off. Uraraka. Izuku sputters, feeling heat fly up his face for the ninth time this morning. But still, I messed up his order and stared at him for a good 5 minutes. How is that not weird at all? Excuse me? Midoriya, was it? A voice calls from the waiting place. Izuku looks up to see Shou speaking to him. Uh, yeah, that's me, that's my name. Izuku sputters, fidgeting with the tie of his apron. What is it? The drink, Shou says, pointing behind Izuku. I think it's overflowing. Izuku freezes before paling, and then turning bright red again. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Izuku whips around, almost tipping from the speed. He hurries to the order and finds that the drink is, in fact, overflowing. Thankfully, there's a tray right under the dispenser, just for catching overflowing liquids. On the way, he grabs the cloth from its hook, and when he gets to the cup, he immediately flips the switch off and wipes the excessive liquid that splattered on the table. Deku-kun, Uraraka chides, sliding over beside him with another washcloth. You're a walking disaster. I know. Izuku crumbles back, and he thinks that he has never wanted to melt into the tiles more than this moment. Can you, remake the drink? I don't think I'm capable of doing anything right now. Sure thing, Uraraka says, patting Izuku on the back. And besides, even if you don't get that man's ass, Uraraka! At least you won this bet. Uraraka pours a drink down the sink, grabbing another cup and filling it with an atrocious amount of ice before putting it under the cold brew dispenser again. They both watch the drink fill up, settling into a silence, with Uraraka smirking happily and Izuku finishing with his fingers, trying not to look too odd in Shouto's presence. Izuku has messed up Shou's order, and messed up talking to Shou, and there's no way in hell he's coming back. The thought makes Izuku feel a bit terrible, but Shou makes up for it when he takes a sip of his drink and sends Izuku a small smile as he makes his way out the door. Okay, alright, that was actually kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. I did like the fact that I don't know why it didn't put in my head that Shoto was going to be Izuku's winning bet or whatever, like the iced tea. Not the iced tea, but the iced drink. It's really interesting. If I remember correctly, this was a no quirks AU, so it's really interesting. I really did like that, callback to Bakugo. That whole Izuku calling him Kachan. Ugh, I love that. I love it. I love that they still kept that in. I wonder what it is that happened that they weren't chill for a while. I love that we have in a band Bakugo. I love band Bakugo. Um, ow, fucking bullshit. Sorry. I just got off of a long shift. I was a closer and it's the holidays and we're closing pretty late. It's 10. We'd be closing at 10. It is currently 11 because I ate before I started recording. Um I'm clearly very tired, but I need to record this today because I need to get back into the habit of recording even if I'm super super tired. And I just needed to record this today, even if I'm not gonna put it into the YouTube system in the sense of like scheduling it. I'll do that tomorrow morning. But I just need to get into the habit of actually recording. Anyways, as I was saying about the fanfic, I don't know, this is gonna be really cute. I do like this author's writing style. It seems similar. I don't know if obviously I said it seems similar, but it could just be because it's similar to somebody I've already written before. It could be someone that I've not written before, read before. It could be someone that I've read before. I know damn well there was one orphaned account fic, right, that I figured out who it was that originally wrote it because I recognized this person's writing style. It did not help that it was in the ship that they normally do. And I was like, oh my god, is it? It can't be. Could it be? And then their end notes are exactly the same, and there's one comment that kind of gives it away, right? It's not like a huge giveaway, but it's like a if you know kind of giveaway. And I was like, oh my god, it is. I wonder why they orphaned that account, that fic specifically. It was a really good one. They probably had a reason to orphan it. Maybe, I don't know. It was a really good one. I really enjoyed it. It was nice. Whatever, point taken is, I like this author's, writing style. It's really nice. I can't wait to see what more we get. I don't know. I kind of like civilian X famous person. I don't know why I do. I just do. It's like super cool to have that. I think there's an Eraser Mike fic, Hook, Line, and Sinker. There you go. By Kiri Kiri. It's really good. It's really nice. It has a. It's kind of short. I wish it was more. A lot. That's a lot of things. That's one of my biggest issues with a lot of fics as well. There's sometimes where like I wish it was more. There's some where it's like, no, this is perfect. This is perfect. You know, Kirikiris. I always think they're too short. I always think I want more. I always want more. It's very rare I'm left completely full. I'm always left a little hungry, for more. And that's one of the ones that I feel like if it was fully fleshed out, like a little more, I think it would be really cool and stuff. It was a really cool premise and stuff. So, I really like the whole, civilian X, famous person. It's a pretty typical trope and stuff, but it brings up some dynamics that are really cool, especially in this case because Izuku doesn't know Shouto is, a famous person, right? I love that, specifically when they don't know or they do know, but like it's not like a huge power imbalance, like they were a fan kind of situation. I don't really like the fan ones that much because like there is that whole imbalance, I normally like when they either don't know that they're famous at all, point blank, or they don't like they're not a fan. Like they know they're famous, but they're not a fan. You get what I mean? I prefer that they don't know they're famous because that one comes with like a cute little moments. The cute reveal of, yeah, I'm famous, by the way. That comes with that nice reveal, and I love that reveal. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have to say for now. So, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content. Thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays.